Hello and welcome, I am Arumba. Thank you for joining me. Let's play some EU4. I am excited because we are going to use the exported Restoration of Rome playthrough from Crusader Kings 2. It's time to get this thing fired away, and I know I've got a lot of series going right now, and I will catch them all at some point, but I gotta do this. I really want to play it. It sounds like fun. So, the Roman Empire, let's take a look. We've got terrain, we've got political. There she is, the Roman Empire. We are in the year 1444. That's the normal EU4 start date. If you are unfamiliar with how the CK2 exporter works, what happens is you play a game of Crusader Kings 2, which has a game range of 867 to 1453. The game can actually go past 1444, which is the traditional start date of EU4. Interestingly, if you play the game all the way to the very end and then export it from CK2 after 1444, you go back in time a few years to 1444. Because it's still 1444. It's just when you start when you play EU4. That's a lot of fours in one word. Or one sentence, rather. So, anyway, I exported this in, like, the year 1000 something. We didn't wait until the very end. Basically, what I did is in the Restoration of Rome playthrough for Crusader Kings 2, we just did the Mended the Great Schism and the restoration, we restored Rome. And to do that, you have to have a certain number of duchies. You have to have, like, Alexandria down here. You've got to have a bunch of this stuff. You've got to have Ferrara. You've got to have Rome, obviously, because it's capital Rome. And some of this other stuff we just took just because we could. Just kind of happened. We ate into Hungary a bit, and we exported. Now, unfortunately, because I didn't wait until the end of time, we did end up getting the Eastern Technology Group. Now, I could mod that and change it to Western, but I'm not going to. We'll just play with Eastern Tech. We're already very, very powerful. Now, one of the things that's really cool about this playthrough is that in the Crusader Kings 2 portion of the game, we had two empires. There was the Holy Roman Empire and France. Now, interestingly, it looks like the Holy Roman Empire got broken up, and France is just a single province or single kingdom. It's huge. For some reason, this one looks like maybe it went into a vassalization type system. We'll see. And then we've got some nice clean things there. Ireland's already formed. Also, when you do the CK2 exporter, you're not going to have like the Moroccans or Algiers or whatever the other guy is. There's like three of them that start there that have the Berber culture group that prevents early coring. They are instead going to be one of the Muslim nations. So we got the Abdulids, who are actually all the way over here too. They're huge. We've got some pretty big enemies actually. The rest of the world is going to be regular. But without further ado, I think we should get started. So we are playing as the Roman Empire. As you can see, our character is Emperor Arumba IV of House Caesar. We have a 3-year-old as an heir named Arumba, who's a 655. That must be our genius. If you have been watching the CK2 playthrough, you know that my genius son has just come of age, and he's amazing, and it's awesome. And he's going to be awesome in this game too. Now, my current character actually not so great, 452. But now we do get a unique set of Roman ideas. This is another reason why the CK2 exporter is awesome. There are special cultures, special empires, or like, what are they called? What are these darn things called? They're not kingdoms, they're states or countries. Obviously, they're called countries. There are special countries that you can play as that are not in regular EU4 that have their own special idea groups, and the only way to get them is to export from Crusader Kings 2. As an example, you got the Roman Empire, you've got the Aztecs and the Inca, which, by the way, I had Sunset Invasion enabled, so they are going to be in this playthrough as well. There is also a parallel kind of, not this set of mod stuff, but I'm doing an Aztec playthrough as well. But anyway, let's move on. So we've got the Roman idea group. So starting ideas, we get discipline plus 10%, which is huge. It's such a huge bonus. It's massive. I mean, it's not just a flat 10% increased damage done. It's I don't even know exactly how the math works, but I know it's significant. Yearly legitimacy goes up by +1. That's really significant if you ever have succession problems. Then we've got Pax Romana. Roman law shines like a beacon in the sea of turmoil, and the people of the provinces can rest easy in the knowledge that peace and order have been restored throughout the empire. Very early -1 revolt risk. Huge boost to diplomatic reputation at the second national idea group. It's massive. +5. It's so good. Oh man. Stability cost goes down by 20% for the Senate and the people of Rome. Land force limits are up. Combat goes up. Production, more taxes, and core creation goes down. And then if we get everything, we get national power increase of 33%. national manpower. So it is very, very good. Very good stuff. The only drawback we have is this Eastern tech thing. But anyway, let's get started. So again, I'm not ending the CK2 playthrough. If anyone's concerned about that, that will continue. We are just doing both. We're going to do both. So let's get started. So I've got to remember how to play EU4. I've got a big army here. It's actually suffering attrition in Constantinople. How much attrition is it suffering? We can only have 36 here, so we need to get these out fairly quickly. I've missed this music. I really have. Let's just split it twice. You guys split, and you guys split. One there. I do miss my keyboard shortcuts. There's just a couple keyboard shortcuts that I really need. The ability to deselect an army with the V key was super useful in Crusader Kings 2. Now we did end up with 85 boats. No heavy ships, which makes sense because we're in the inland seas. We really don't need those. They don't function very well here, and the galleys do much, much better. If you forget how that works, let's go take a look at them. Galleys, they are smaller in hull. They're only size 8 compared to the early Carrack, which are 20. They have 12 cannons, while the early Carracks have 40. But where can we see it? I think we can see it on the build screen. Galleys, right here. They receive a 100% bonus to damage dealt to non-galleys. So they're very cheap compared to regular ships, the heavies. The actual cost is only 10 gold. Well, a Carrack is 50, so they're a fifth of the cost. And yet they are about 40% of the size of the ship. And then if you double this against a Carrack, you're actually looking at 24 versus 40, roughly, in overall damage. And they're faster. They've got a speed of 8 versus 5, so they get into better combat positioning better. And they also move faster on the map. Physically, they'll move, in this case, 60% faster. So if you're on the inland seas, they're actually very, very good. So that's why we have all of those. We did end up with an army down here. It's just going to be regular infantry. So let's figure out what our missions can be. So reclaim Sivas. I'm not really sure where that is yet. We'll find it later. Form an alliance with Eisenberg. I just watched Breaking Bad. Heisenberg. Just thought I'd mention that to somebody. So just get an alliance with Eisenberg. Let's find out who they are. Eisenberg is a 2-county province. Why would I want an alliance with them? Oh, that's interesting. What is this? Increased coring costs. National traditions of Hungary make this province more expensive to turn into your core. Well, that's kind of problematic, considering they're our primary neighbor. All these guys have it. That's annoying. I wonder what France's national ideas are. Look at that, even France ended up with Eastern tech. Is everyone Eastern? England's not. Ireland! Ireland is Eastern tech. That's strange. I guess there are some drawbacks to exporting the game early, but then again, if these guys all have it too, then it's not really a problem. Before we really dive into the game, I do want to spend some time looking around the map at some of the various map modes, just because it's pretty interesting. So Orthodoxy. One of the reasons why the Restoration of Rome series was kind of different and fun is that when you do the event, or actually it's the decision that you do, called Mend the Great Schism, what you're doing is you're reuniting the Catholic faith and the Orthodox faith into a single unit. What ends up happening is the Catholic faith becomes a heresy of Orthodoxy, and everyone, for the most part, gets presented with a choice to either submit and convert to Orthodoxy or become branded a heretic. And what's funny about the playthrough I did is that we actually mended the Great Schism before the actual historical schism happened. I'm not a perfect historian, I don't know exactly what it is, but from what I've heard, it happened sometime in the mid to late 10th century, like 1070, 1080, somewhere around there. I don't know, don't quote me on that, please. But what happened was there was like a mutual, what's the term for it? Shoot. A mutual excommunication, both sides of the Christian faith, the Orthodox sect and the Catholic sect, just both of the people excommunicated somebody, which is what caused the schism. But we ended up ahistorically, naturally, with a history simulator, mending the Great Schism before it even happened. Which actually they should probably get rid of the ability to do that, because if the schism hasn't happened yet, I don't know why you would. Byzantium gains core. Country changes to Byzantium. Well, why on earth would we want to do that? Increase centralization. It doesn't last forever. It only lasts for 20 years. Giving extra national tax, we gain some prestige. I mean, I have to imagine that that decision is there for a reason. I wonder if perhaps that... You know what? That decision is probably there for regular EU4. Like, if you start with a small little realm and then you build it up and you get all these things, then you can do that. I don't want to do that. We're Rome. We're playing as the Roman Empire for a reason. Spread our culture to Parma. You know, I think I'm just going to do... That's such a dumb... Let's find Civus. Where's Civus? Oh yeah, that's a good mission. We'll take that mission. Gotta use these key mines again, so... We'll need to declare war on that guy at some point. In fact, is that owned by the Abdulids? Ooh, that'll be a big war. That'll be fun. Now let's actually take a look at the ledger as well. The ledger shows countries. We want to look at score comparison. Score overall. No one really has a big score yet, but the Abdulids are lower than we are in military rating. And they are Muslim tech. So, it's not telling me the penalties. Shouldn't I be able to see the technology penalty just by looking at it right here? Why can't you just say minus plus 20% cost? I can't remember what the penalty is for Muslim tech. I think it's slower than the other people's. Okay, we need advisors. Okay, we gotta get started on this game. We gotta start playing. Okay, so we have 4 people to choose from. They're all level 2, which is actually kind of unfortunate. A theologian can be really useful for some early decisions. We're already capped out on prestige and legitimacy, which is awesome. Probably because of the prestige of our former character. Uncontested cores. Conquest of Rome. Conquest of Jerusalem. Okay, so what can we do if we get some of that stuff? Italian is the dominant culture. No, I don't want to do that. Noble Knights. Liberum Veto. Like, here, the Advancement of Religion Act. Increases revolt risk, but also makes our missionaries more powerful. And we could also do this one. Introduce church taxes. We aren't Catholic, so we could do that pretty easily and get an extra bonus to taxes. And there are no Catholics. Catholics were kind of exterminated in the previous playthrough. So, interesting. I've actually not played as the Orthodox faith yet in EU4, so let's take a look at that. We're not allowed to convert. The benefits of being Orthodox are that we get minus 10% stability costs, and we have increased tolerance of the true faith, so we'll have much lower revolt risk in our own provinces that are happy. We have -1 tolerance of heretics, so we get an actual penalty for any heresy in the land, and -2 of heathens. Now, the Patriarchy says, with no Patriarch authority, you will get no modifiers. Patriarch authority represents the level of influence that the Orthodox Church has on the nation. In Orthodox provinces, high Patriarch authority will decrease revolt risk and increase the number of recruits joining the army, but it will come at the cost of partially diverting the local taxes to the Church. We can go all the way up to 100%, and at maximum it would lower revolt risk by 3, lower taxation by about 1/3, and increase the local manpower by 1/3. So, this is just boosted via decisions and events and stuff, and we'll see. We could become the defender of the faith, since we are we're Rome after all. That's a bunch of morale. Costs a lot of money. We did come over with 13, I can't count today, 1175 gold, so we could do that. It would also help out with conversion, since we haven't increased an extra missionary. Oh, we can't actually convert any of these, really. Okay, we need that theologian. Let's do that. We're going to take the theologian so we can enact that decision. It's 4 ducats a month. We can afford that. As far as technology goes, to be able to westernize, we need to have a neighbor that belongs to the Western Technology Group. That neighbor needs to have a core province adjacent to one of our core provinces. We'll reset all of our monarch points to -100, but change our tech group to Western. So right now we have access to Eastern units and 120% technology costs. Let's take a look at some of those Eastern units. So we get Bardish Infantry, Eastern Militia. This is just a whole slew of Eastern units. I'm not even sure exactly how they're different from Western. Eastern Knights. They seem, I mean, these little pips are... I don't like this system very much. Personally. But... at what level of tech do we get the cannon? That's what I really care about. Still level 7, okay. I think we'll just stick on Eastern tech. I'm not going to worry about trying to westernize. Let's pick up some more dudes. Dude. Diplomatic tech cost, yeah, kinda. Diplomatic reputation. Let's do that, because I want to do some relationship stuff at the beginning. We're going to have to be very diplomatic in our conquest. I don't want to get a ton of aggressive expansion right away. And again, I'm going to probably spend this entire first video or two getting things situated before we even let the game go. So I apologize about that, but there's a lot. It's a big, I mean, you're diving into a brand new engine. Not an engine, I guess, because it is the same game, but same company, but it's uses the Clausewitz engine, but it's a totally different title. So land force limits, or we could get a level 3 or 2 guy. I don't think so. We'll just take the level 1. Land force is fine. That'll help out with our army size. Excellent point gain per month on everything except for military. Alright, so we go back to our country. We are allowed to have 4 diplomatic relations right now. We already have 7 diplomatic reputation, so pretty much everyone's going to be willing to negotiate with us. I think one of our first conquests should be France. We should put France in a personal union. So how about we go ahead and get a royal marriage with them at some point soon. They're hostile towards us. Why? Border friction? That's BS. Empress Julian of House Carling causing problems for me. Alright, fine, I guess we can't do that. Let's go back to the religious map mode, see who we can actually kind of negotiate with. It's going to probably be... oh, geez. Can I... maybe I can just offer vassalization to some of these lower guys? Like Slavonia? I suppose I could have taken that mission. And then I could just vassalize them. It's only a 2-county province. Sorry, 2-province country. Going from CK2 to EU4 is tough, I tell ya. How about Germany? Germany's not hostile. Let's subjugate Germany. Alright. Our legitimacy goes down a little bit. That's fine. So that'll be one of our relationships. We're never going to do this. I hope I never remember to... I hope I don't click that. But we will pass the Liquor Act. Sweet. Actually, I didn't even intend to do that. We lose a little bit of administrative power. Gain some taxation. Well, we definitely want to do this one because it's basically free. Increases revolt risk but makes missionaries stronger. And we also definitely want to do this. It increases revolt risk, but we actually get a bunch more taxation. Right now we're at 0% bonus taxes, and so that 8% is going to be pretty significant. Passing the Liquor Act, I think I want to look at as soon as we consider boosting stability. It's only 70 points. Ooh, we're trading in wine also. Religious unity, not so good. 93%, so it's costing us more there. We can convert this in 5 years now that we boosted up our conversion speed. Let's just, we'll boost stability by 1. And now, as soon as I'm able to, I will... where did it go? Oh, so yes, in like 3 months we'll be able to do it, 4 months. Get a free military ruler, defender of the faith, disputed succession. Oh wow. Lots of people. Interesting, they all come in without heirs. Okay. Alright, well, we haven't actually let the game unpause yet, but I'm going to take a break here, and I'll see you again in the next video. So thank you so much for joining me. This will be a fun playthrough. I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. See you soon.